Welcome to Bookshop Bombshells.
Look at us.
We did it.
So much better than last time.
That's Elizabeth.
And that's Andrea. And this is a podcast.
Where we each tell you about a book we recently read.
And try not to spoil it.
Because we want you to read too.
Yeah, just in case you want to read it.
Yeah.
Anything new with you?
No, not really.
I was trying to think of what anything new that's happened to me, and honestly, I've just been like doing. So I've been like reading my books. I got a side book going on. It's called. So it's like I'm just like listening to the audiobook. It's called "In the Garden of Spite."
Ooh.
And it took me way too long to realize this, but it's a what is it called when they do like a historical novel about true events? It's not technically, it may be historical fiction, but it's like a fictional retelling or something.
I don't know.
There's this,
is there a name for that?
I'm sure there is. I just don't know it.
Neither one of us know. It's fine.
But it's like this female serial killer from, she's like originally from Norway, but it's just like basically like a telling from her perspective of like killing all these men and stuff. Which My Favorite Murder actually did her story. I don't know how much you've listened to them, but there's this quote from she puts out like a personal ad in like the paper to get like men to come to her farm, and there's this like she like does this whole ad like she's looking for blah blah like a man or whatever.
Yeah.
And at the end she's like, "Triflers need not apply." And it's like, I think even My Favorite Murder like came out with a t-shirt or something. And I think that was actually the original title of this book. I think she renamed it to In the Garden of Spite, but I think the original title was Triflers Need Not Apply.
Either one of those
are
really good.
Yeah. And it took me way too long. I was like reading this and I was like, this is really familiar. Like, especially when she like moves to the farm and is like starting to like get guys to like
and
come to her
like,
farm.
Oh, My Favorite
Yeah.
Murder.
And then I'm like Googling it, which I should have known. Cause like the reason I bought the book was because, there's actually a review on the cover from Georgia and Karen from My Favorite Murder. And I was like, I have to get this.
Absolutely.
It's my...
I did start today, actually, on my way over. Blood-Sucking Fiends on audiobook.
Yay!
I finally got
you like the audio.
It was finally available.
Good, right?
So like the 20 minutes it takes me to get here. I was like, oh, yeah.
I love the narrator on that.
Yeah.
Like, she's really good.
It sounds nice. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not going to get lost somewhere.
She's got a very, like, sultry voice, too.
It's real good.
Yeah. I'm glad you like it.
So.
Yeah, I listen to or read that book, like, every couple of years.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
She does, I wonder if she does other audiobooks.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you can always search by the narrator.
The narrator of In the Garden of Spite is the one that did The Four Winds.
Ooh.
Which I really like her. So that's cool.
That is.
I'm also making a huge assumption there. It sounds just like her. I never actually looked it up.
I think it might be her.
Don't quote me on that. But It does sound just like her. I'm trying to remember. Is it your turn to speak? Because we changed locations.
I think it is, but do we want to like swap again, or do you want to just keep back and forth?
Let's just keep going back and forth. Let's do. Okay. We'll just have to remember the new routine.
Now it's just the opposite of what we were doing.
Yeah.
So, it's fine. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So the book I read this week was called The Village Library Demon Hunting Society by C.M. Waggoner.
Okay. I like it. I like the cover.
My sister actually told me about this book, and I think she just finished it recently and was like, this would be great for your podcast. And I was like, okay, we'll see. and then I got to a spot in the book that I was like, cool. I'm going to finish it.
Yeah.
So the story, it starts and you meet Sherry Pinkwhistle. She lives and works in Winesap, which is a small little town, I'm assuming in New York, because they talk about like Albany and things like that. She's like an older gray-haired woman. So like I picture this like real quaint old lady. She works at the library. She has a cat. Her cat's name is Lord Thomas Cromwell.
Cool.
So like in the beginning of the book, she's like waking up and she's feeling really good about recently having helped solved another murder in the town. So she like gets ready, she feeds her cat. She walks over to the neighbor's house across the street, who's Alice Murdoch, and Alice gives Sherry a loaf of banana bread, and they head to town. Um, Alice works at Sherry's friend Alan's antique store, and Alice likes to walk with her to work because neither one of them have cars, and she likes to hang out in the library and read before work.
Nerd.
I know, freaking nuts. So Sherry's working at the library, and then she sneaks back to go have lunch. It's like, and she's like, I took one bite of my egg sandwich, and I hear, Sherry, Sherry, are you back there? And she's like, most people don't call me Sherry. I must know her. So it's a town lady. Her name's Charlotte, and she's kind of in a panic. And she was like, John's dead. And John was Charlotte's husband. He's kind of unpleasant. They're older. He is into artwork and things, and he does not treat Charlotte like Sherry would prefer him to.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Apparently, John was stabbed. Somebody murdered him. So Sherry is like, well, I'll leave work for a bit. Charlotte's lawyer is not going to be there for like 4 or 5 hours. So she was like, I'll go to the crime scene with you. It's
Isn't this
fine.
just like
I
the
got
dream, you know? It's like, oh, I mean,
yeah, I know.
not really,
right?
but it's like, oh, let's help solve a murder.
Let me work at the library and go help solve a murder. It gets better.
Yeah.
Don't worry. So they go to Charlotte's house, and it's in disarray. They've got all these fancy paintings. A lot of them are on loan from the art gallery. And the only ones that are missing are from her friend Alan's antique shop, which is weird because they're not really worth anything. So she talks to Sheriff Brown, the Winesap town sheriff. While they're there, and then she goes back to Charlotte, and Charlotte's like, Sherry, will you help us solve this case?
Like how dramatic it all is.
Yeah. It's like a fun little cozy book.
Yeah.
So she goes back to the library, she finishes her shift, and she usually has like tea and little tiny sandwiches at a little shop in town with her friend Janine, who's a counselor and wants all the details about what's going on in the crime. So they're going back and forth trying to figure out a motive and have little discussions and things. And the next day she works like a whole day at the library, and it's raining all day, so it's busy. People smell like wet dog, even though dogs aren't allowed in the library. And she leaves, and on her way home, her gentleman friend Alan pulls up, and he's like, hey, do you need a lift? She's like, I wouldn't consider him my boyfriend or a lover, because like the most we do is kiss every now and then. But they go to dinner, they have wine, they chit chat about the case. And kind of like back and forth on that. I'm like, man, she tells a lot. She talks about cases to a lot of people in town.
Yes.
It's fine.
I
You
mean,
get
it's
to
not
know.
like she's, you know.
She's not divulging
Yeah.
information. She's also kind of like half key interrogating people about it. So,
Yeah.
but it's like you get to know all of the major people in town at the beginning, and it's cute. So at one point she tracks down one of John's models because he like did life
Oh, okay. He's
painting.
like a painter.
Yeah. And she's like in her early 20s. Her name is Ruth. Sherry's like, hey, you should meet up with me at the library to chat, and you know, we're just like, just be cozy, it's fine. And guess what? Ruth was having relations with Charlotte's husband John, and she found out that he was married and went to confront him, and he started to strangle her. So like she had like a pocket knife or something in her, like she carried around.
Yeah.
She stabbed him and like took off. So, like, case closed. Sherry's
Yeah,
figured
she
out.
did it. Yeah.
Good for her for getting away.
Yeah.
But also, she,
it was
like,
self-defense.
it was self-defense. That's what
Yeah.
the whole thing was. So, and, like, she didn't know he was married either.
Yeah.
She was like, and, like, John is, like, an older guy, too. So I'm like, he's like,
How's he getting all these young ladies?
she's like calling him a perv and like, oh, you're a terrible pervy old man and da 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 da. So then like after all this subsides, Sherry goes on a date with Alan that decides on Chinese food and a movie. A lot of it was because Sherry was hungover because she spent the night drinking with Charlotte because she solved the case.
Yeah.
And like
We're
like
celebrating.
they're celebrating and remorsing and all the things.
Yeah, I guess not really celebrating.
It's kind of he was kind of a jerk. So they have a good little makeout session, which is like new. They usually just like little kisses, but they done go full on teenager here. These sweet old people.
I guess I forgot they were old.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're old.
In my head, I'm like, why are they only kissing? You know, you could do more.
Because they're old.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, old people also do more. But
Yeah.
not saying they don't. But anyway, they like get done with everything.
They get done with the kissing.
They get done with the makeout sesh. And he drives her home. He's like, here, take these leftovers so you don't have to cook in the morning. So he like leaves and she's not gonna eat the leftovers. She's not a good leftover kind of gal. So she walks across the street, gives them to her neighbor Alice, and goes back home. So then she's like woken up around midnight to her doorbell, and it's Alice. She's like, my power went off. Like I don't know what to do. Can you come over and help? And so Sherry like gets out of bed, walks across the street, flips the breaker. Magic. The lights are back on. And then she goes home and go back to bed. The next morning, she gets a call from Sheriff Brown. Dun, dun, dun. Alan's dead.
Alan is? Oh, no.
Yeah, her sweet old man.
Oh, no.
Boyfriend, not boyfriend.
I thought he was the one that did it.
No. He's dead.
It's always the boyfriend. That sucks for her.
And Sheriff
Natural
Brown.
causes? Or...
No. Sheriff
Darn
Brown
it.
is like, hey, do you want to help with this murder? She's like, how has there been 16
What are
deaths?
her qualifications again?
She's just a sweet old lady
She's
that
just
likes
like
reading
Angela
mystery
Lansbury or whatever.
novels. She's
Yeah.
like Miss, what
Murder,
is it?
She Wrote.
Miss Maple.
Miss Marple.
Marple, yeah. I'm like, there's an R and I'm going to say it wrong.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of little like cute little throws. And like,
she's very like Agatha Christie.
there's a lot of Agatha Christie-esque things.
That's funny.
in her.
Okay. I like it.
She's like, how has there been like 16 deaths in this quiet little town? I'm not gonna help with this murder investigation. Like, I don't want to. That was my sweet Alan.
Yeah.
There is a lot here.
I mean, you'd think she'd want to solve it though.
Yeah, I mean, but she's like been solving.
She's like, I can't do all the work for you.
Why is
Like,
the
you need
police-
to do your job a little
Sheriff
bit.
Brown,
Yeah.
listen, give me a break. He was near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
So then like Janine calls her to be like, hey, I'm so sorry, I just heard about Alan. But then she gets like this voice about her on the phone, and she's like, you have to solve it. And she's like, it wasn't her normal voice, this is weird. And she's like, why you gotta be so cruel about it? And like hangs up, goes back to sleep. She's like, I just want to hang out in my house with Lord Thomas, my cat. Like, let me
Lord Thomas.
sweet thing. So then like Sheriff Brown ends up like beating on our door in the middle of the night, and she like peeks through the curtain to see who's there, and she's like, weird. And he's like yelling at her like, I know you're in there, Sherry, you have to do this investigation, and da 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 da, like not in his voice either. So you're like, weird. Okay. And she calls it a very inhuman voice.
Oh.
He's there
Is
for a
it
long
supernatural?
time. Yeah.
Oh, fun. Okay.
So she waits for him to leave, and then she calls Father Barry, which is the young new priest at their church, which she like doesn't she like is infrequent like goes every so
Yeah.
she went and met him before this.
Yeah.
And then she calls him, she's like, hey, do you think there's something weird and supernatural going on? Like, don't think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. Like, but these things are weird. And he's like, well, I didn't take that seminar. And she's like, what? She's like, I didn't do exorcism
I didn't do the
seminar.
exorcism seminar.
Well, I was in school, but I have a bishop that we can call if you want. And like they kind of hem haw. Well, then her and Father Barry meet up, and they meet up with Sheriff Brown. And she's like, you were banging on my tour. Why were you doing that? And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. What did we do? And she was like, if we did something like that, do you think I would have brought Father Barry? Come on now.
Yeah.
Simmer down. And
do you think they slept together? Is that
that's what he was thinking. Yeah. He was like, what did we do?
I would never sleep with an old lady.
So then, like, they're chatting, and all of a sudden that, like, demon voice of his comes back, and his head spins, like, 180 degrees, and he's like, have you ever watched The Exorcist? And she's like, no, but I've read it.
Of course,
so, like,
she has.
really weird. So, like, that day passes, she gets back home, she goes to sleep, and she's, like, woken up by somebody going, woman! And she's like, I don't want to open my eyes. This is too creepy.
I don't respond to woman,
yeah.
is what I would say.
Well, that was also, like, that also comes into play.
Yeah.
But she finally opens her eyes, and it's Lord Thomas Cromwell, her cat, and he's, like, yelling, like, he's, like, right up in her face, be like, woman, come on, wake up. And she's like, his mouth isn't moving, but he's talking to me, and this is very weird. And ends up, he also wants her to find the murderer because of the shape-shifty demon that has tasked him into making sure Sherry complies and solve the case.
What?
And so then, yeah, and she like threatens him because her normal cat is scared of the vacuum. She was like, don't make me get the vacuum out. That's like kind of cute, but
oh, that sounds awesome.
So I think I read something that was like, it's like an Agatha Christie novel and like a Buffy vampire like
okay, I have to read it now.
thing. So it was really good.
I like that it's like Agatha Christie's but supernatural, because she never really does supernatural stuff.
So but yeah, my sister was like, this and it was like, it wasn't, because usually like my light and fluffy are still kind of weird, and I remember texting my sister and being like, I think this is the like third book in a row that I've done with a talking animal. It's fine, but that's kind of what got me. So but it was very cozy. Like if you're reading something really like dark and stuff, that's your palate cleanser.
What was it called again?
It was called it's a long name.
Yeah, I remember it being long.
The Village Library Demon Hunting Society by C.M. Waggoner. It got a 3.4 star on Goodreads. It was written in 2024.
What would you rate it?
I did like a 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like
Fair.
it was cutesy, it was cozy, but it kind of took me a bit to like get into it. But I think at a certain point I was like, okay, well, I want to know what happens, and it's good. It's cute.
So this is like very interesting that you did this one, because
what did you do?
I also did cozy horror.
Oh,
well, okay, so we talked about cozy horror last time. So I was talking to my friend Emily, and I think I did mention this book last time, and I don't think I was very far into it, but I ended up liking it so much that I paused the book I was currently reading and switched to do this book. So it is also cozy horror, and it also mentions The Exorcist, which is crazy.
How weird.
Yeah. So I did The September House by Carissa Orlando. It's a 2023 book. Emily had told me that because she had been reading the Rachel Harrison books. She just finished Black Sheep and she really liked it. and she had said that like, like, oh, in the vein of cozy horror, like, I really like this book. I think it's like my favorite book I've read this year.
Nice.
And so it was like immediately available on Libby, so I just like checked it out. um so uh it starts with Margaret and Hal. They are a married couple. I think they're like in their 50s
Okay.
ish. They have never owned a house before. They have a daughter. Um, they've always wanted to own a house, but it's just like they both kind of work sort of odd. I wouldn't say odd as in like weird jobs, but just like odd jobs as in like not a great income.
Yeah.
Like the husband Hal is like a writer, and he only recently started getting stuff published. So like to make money, he was like writing silly articles and like teaching a few classes here and there. And Margaret's sort of the same. Like they're raising their kid, and so she's just sort of doing like retail jobs and administrative assistant type jobs.
Yeah,
So
okay.
they've never really been able to like own a house before. Oh yeah, and this is another haunted house book.
Nice.
Obviously, I don't know the house is in the title, but
Yeah.
just to warn you. But completely different. But I actually think better. So Margaret's just like one day just happens to be flipping through this newspaper that she says she barely ever reads, and there is a house for sale. That's like literally the house that they've been like talking about since they got married, that they like wanted to live. Like, oh, when we get married and we grow up, we're gonna like
Have this
like Victorian house, and it has like the wraparound porch.
Ooh.
And like, I don't know what a turret is, but there's a turret. Apparently that was a big deal. And it's like super duper affordable, and it's huge.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't remember how many rooms,
Like,
but it's like 3 stories.
Price lower than what they were.
Yeah. So they like go to, they like triple check with the realtor that that's actually the price of the house. And they go and, view the house. And she says, like, as soon as she sees it, like, she said she would have bought it, like, she would have bought it sight unseen.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, as soon as she saw it, she was like, this is our house. Like, we're going to live here. And so they're like, like looking around the house, and it's, beautiful. It actually kind of reminded me of like when we bought my house, because like it's a very old house. I think it's like 100, I think she said 150 years old, and ours is like 102 now or something like that. But I had a similar feeling. Like when I first saw the house, I was like, this is it. Like you can't change my mind.
Yeah.
Like this is my house. You can tell me that the foundation is screwed, and I'll just like say, I don't care. We'll fix it. Like we'll fix it. And so they're like touring the house, and the realtor's doing her thing, and she's like, oh, by the way, I'm legally obligated to tell you that there has been like a death in the house. Mm-hmm. And she was like, well, actually, there's been 2 deaths in the house. It was like a housemaid and like the lady of the house. But like, oh, that was like 100 years ago, and
it's been so long.
Yeah, and it was basically like the husband was suffering from like psychosis or something, and so like, just
normal somebody died.
But they're just like not paying attention. They're just like, sure, look at this like hardwood floor, look at this like beautiful kitchen. Like they just like don't even care. She also mentions, she's like, oh, there was like, another murder, but that was like so long. Like it was just like, just very like off the cuff, very casual. And like, this is something that I've never had a ghost experience. I don't know if we've ever talked about this, at least on the podcast. I've never had a ghost experience, but like I believe that ghosts, like I believe in the possibility of ghosts. And so it's like the fear is like, I live in this old house. Like, obviously, it's like someone has to have died here.
Right.
Like so it's like, so like that was like her whole thing. She's like, well, it's an old house. Like, the probability of people dying in an old house is like,
exponential.
Yeah, like of course people have died here. So they move in May and are just like in love. Mm-hmm. So September happens.
Okay.
And, like, chapter 1, like, is basically, like, the start of September. So, like, all that's, like, the prologue. Chapter 1 is, like, the walls are bleeding again. It's just, like, how it starts.
Golly, we just cleaned this.
Yeah, so it's, like, the walls are bleeding. This happens every September. At this point in chapter 1, this is, like, their 4th September in the house.
Okay.
There is, like, a really loud... no, like moaning that happens every night when they sleep, so it's like really disruptive sleep in September.
Yeah.
And there is so like it's kind of hard to tell the story a little bit because the way it's told in the book is you're just following Margaret's kind of like narrative.
Yeah.
And she is what some would call a unreliable narrator. I don't know if that's like necessarily the best way to describe it, but that's like one of the ways I would describe her. She's also a type of narrator that like doesn't tell you everything, so you like kind of learn things as you go in like sort of offhanded comments. So like we start and it's September and she's like dealing with the walls bleeding and the moaning and she's like trying to, she's like wakes up in the morning and Frederica's just like there asking her if she wants tea. And we're just like, who's Frederica? Like, you don't know Frederica. And she's like slowly telling you who Frederica is. She like came with the house. And then she like has this huge axe wound in her head and her eye is droopy. And it's like hard to look at her, but she's so helpful. Like,
that's so weird.
Yeah, but like, so she like makes her tea and breakfast every morning, and she's just like calls her ma'am, and and like it's just like these weird like, and it's like, oh, Elias is here, and Elias is like this little scrawny like 10-year-old boy that like if you get too close to him, he bites you.
Oh no.
And so you're like slowly learning like, oh, she lives in this house with ghosts,
right?
Like people that have died in the house.
They're
so,
all interacting well together, though.
Yes, kind of.
We know boundaries.
Kind of. So Frederica and Elias seem to be around year-round.
Okay.
There are only certain things happen in September.
Yep,
like the walls seasonal. Bleeding. Yeah, like the walls bleeding, like moaning and like stuff at night. And then she calls them pranksters. She never really explains why she calls them pranksters. Huh. But she, like, instead of ghosts, she calls them pranksters.
Okay.
But there are other pranksters that appear just in September. So one of them is named Angelica, and she's like a little girl who, like, also like she has like a bastion head. Like it's just all like very like, and she's just so. She's so very casual about it all.
You're like, oh, no big deal.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, I'm used to it. Like, it's just this little girl. And so, like, Angelica shows up and she's like, points to the basement. And she's like, I learned a long time ago that, like, you don't pay attention to the pranksters. Like, she's like, when I first started, when I first moved into this house and it was September, like, I was Nancy Drew trying to solve all the ghost problems. And she's like, you don't do that. Like, you just ignore the pranksters. Like, she's friends with Frederica, and you just, like, try not to get bit by Elias.
Right. keep on keeping on here, okay?
But, like, this specific September, Angelica shows up, and when they first moved into the house, the basement has this really eerie, creepy vibe to it.
Okay.
And they don't really tell you much about it other than that, but they do keep the basement boarded up, like nailed and boarded with like Bible passages.
Oh,
like,
to keep it.
Yeah, like
okay.
Like taped on the door. And so like, Angelica's like pointing to the basement. She's like, he's down there. And she's like, I know he's down there. Like, we don't go down there though. Like, but it was weird because I guess Angelica doesn't usually talk. Like the only prankster that actually talks is Frederica.
Right.
Elias doesn't talk. He just kind of stares and bites. And so she's, in the kitchen, which is, the basement's, right by the kitchen. She's in the kitchen drinking tea with Frederica, and Frederica basically tells her, like, oh, by the way, like, your phone is going off. It looks like you have, like, another text from your daughter. So, Catherine is Margaret's daughter. She has been calling for the past month, realizing she has not talked to her dad in a while. So basically, the way that their sort of like family structure works is it's like, and I don't know, it seemed kind of similar to like maybe how like my husband's family structure works, where it's like you call and talk to your mom, and the dad just sort of like chimes in the background, so you don't ever really like
connect.
Yeah, you don't necessarily, which they do talk obviously, but like you know, it's like it's mostly like most of the communication is through the mom. The dad sort of says a couple, maybe they talk on the phone for a couple minutes and then they hang up. So the daughter starts realizing over the past month, she calls like probably about weekly. She hasn't actually heard from her dad, and then she just starts calling her dad directly, and her dad's not answering the phone. And now when she's calling, it's like going, like the voicemail box is full. She can't even like leave voicemails. And Margaret she makes like offhanded comments in her narrative about like how I think she says like absconded. So you don't really know. So you're like, okay, Hal's gone. She's living in the house by herself. Daughter's looking for Hal.
Yeah.
And so finally, when she does like talk to her daughter, like the daughter's pretty hilarious. She's just like, "What the fuck, mom?" Like she's just like, and so she finally admits to her daughter that Hal left, and she's like, "What do you mean he left? Like when did he leave?" And so she starts kind of doing this thing where she's like, "Well, did he leave when he stopped sleeping in the master bedroom with me, or did he leave
she's
when?"
Like, what do you consider leaving?
Yeah, like when did he leave? And so you kind of are learning that like their relationship had been on the rocks for like a while.
Yeah.
And the house is kind of to blame for that.
Yeah.
Because she loves the house, can put up
with whatever.
It's just 1 month a year. The rest of the year is,
fine.
Perfectly fine. She loves Frederica. and the husband is not. He doesn't like it. And so he ends up deciding he doesn't want to live in the house anymore. She says, "I'm not going to."
This is my dream
this
house.
Is my house. I think she even says like she puts her foot down for like the first time in their relationship, and she says like, "No, I'm not leaving." So he does leave, and the daughter is concerned because, it's like, well, why would he not answer my phone calls? Like, if he just left, why is he not?
He should still have his
phone. Like I'm his daughter. He should still talk to me.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I don't know. And there's like these weird kind of side comments of like, well, do you think that he got in trouble like last time? And it's like, well, she knows I don't like to talk about the past and blah, blah, blah.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah. And so, and she's like, no, I don't think so. And so like the daughter's like, I don't care. Well, I think even the mom says something like, well, don't worry, like I'll call the cops and I'll file a missing persons report or whatever if that might make you feel better. Okay. And she's like, I'm actually concerned that you haven't filed one already. Like I'm coming. And here's the thing, the daughter has never been to their house. They've lived in this house for 4 years. She's never been to the house. She has no idea about any of the ghosts or pranksters September nonsense. And so Margaret is like trying to pull all the stops. She's just like, no, you can't come. Like, oh, there's just too much going on. And she's trying to like say she has like a leaky roof and all this stuff. And she's just like, I don't give a fuck, Mom. Like, I'm coming. She's very abrasive. She ends up being okay though. Okay. But she has her own issues. But yeah, so there's some like a little bit of background. We go into like how, like when they first moved into the house, how like certain things started to just like move around on their own, and they were kind of like blaming each other, like, why did you put this here, why did you do that? And they finally start to sort of put two and two together, that like they're not alone in the house.
Yeah.
um and so they let's see, sorry. Oh, there's a sweet little story that she tells about whenever she was a child. There was a like outside cat that she didn't like. She knew there was a cat outside, but it was like too scared of her, so she started putting out food.
It's like warm it up.
Yeah, and she ends up like basically warming up the cat enough that the cat starts like bringing her dead things, and she just like took that as like
I brought you a big gift.
Yeah, exactly. And so she sort of does the same thing with Frederica. So like Frederica makes her tea, and she like doesn't, she thinks it's Hal at first, and then she's starting to realize like, oh, this isn't like
Hal's not
yeah.
doing this.
So that's sort of like there's a lot of like interesting metaphors in this book. Like it's a lot deeper, and I don't want to get into it too much because there are a few like cool
Things.
little like that I don't want to spoil. But there are a lot of like interesting metaphors in this book.
Okay.
So Margaret, after talking to her daughter, we're like back in the present or whatever. Talking to her daughter, she's like sitting on the porch. Her neighbor Edie comes over, and they're like basically talking about like Catherine coming, and Margaret's just like, I'm screwed. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like she's gonna come. She's coming in like a couple days, and it's September. Like it's even worse.
Bad timing.
Bad timing.
No.
Like how am I gonna like keep all the stuff from her? There's like other things that happen too. There's like birds that like fly into windows all the time, so they constantly have like dead birds on their lawn.
Oh no.
And she's like, I'm gonna have to like unboard the basement because like that's like super obvious.
It's weird to be like,
to be like, oh, why is this basement board with all these like Bible passages on the door? So she's like, I'm gonna have to unboard the basement. And Edie like doesn't like that. She's like, what do you mean you're gonna like unboard them? Like you can't do that. Master Vale is down there.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's like our first like learning of who's in the basement. And so she's like, well, I can call Father Cyrus and see if he'll like do his like blessing thing. So
Right.
So when they first moved into the house, obviously they figured out things were wrong in September. And over their years, they've been sort of learning there's things that they can do to mitigate what's going on.
Okay, yeah.
One of them was they went to the Catholic Church and tried to find like a priest that would like do an exorcism or something on their house. And everyone's just like basically laughs at them. And then this like old priest is like, oh, I can help you. Like I actually like I know exactly the house you're talking about. Like it's
He's familiar with
yeah,
it.
he's like, that's not a good place. And so he comes and he does like all these blessings in the house when they first get there. And so she calls him like every September, and I think it gives them like a little bit of a just like nothing like lasts. Like it's like, oh, we get like a week of like
you get
peace.
that comfort.
Yeah. There's like other things she's learned about like Elias, the boy, like his mother is buried in the backyard. So she like if she like digs up the mother's bones and like reunites Elias with the mother's bones, he like disappears for like a week.
Huh.
So she's like, okay, there's things I can do to like make the house. And she's like, I can wake up early and clean up the blood off all the walls, like so she won't.
She's planning.
And she's like trying to like Edie's trying to tell her that she needs to like drug her daughter while she's sleeping so she won't hear like the moaning at night and all this stuff. So she calls Father Cyrus. He arrives to like perform the blessing. So while Father Cyrus is there, they're sort of talking about like the first time he was there, versus like the time he's here now, and they're like doing all the, crazy stuff. And one of the weird things about when Father Cyrus came the first time is he believes them. He knows the house is haunted, but all the pranksters are like mysteriously absent.
Right.
And like he doesn't see stuff like the blood on the walls, but he like still is like, no, I feel
like,
it.
I
know.
believe you.
Yeah, I believe you. So like that was really interesting. Let me see. What else have I got? So basically they decide that Father Cyrus needs to like bless the basement or whatever.
Yeah.
So like they open the door to the basement and like Father Cyrus is like praying and just like he basically like is frozen by like an unseen like force and like flies start like swarming out of his mouth. Hold on one second. And we're back.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. So Father Cyrus flies coming out of his mouth. She gets him out of there, slams the door. He leaves like as fast as he possibly can. And then Frederica helps Margaret clean up like all of the rest of the house.
Yeah.
So I'm like considering how far I want to go.
I'm already kind of invested in this book.
So I will say, yeah, Catherine arrives.
Oh yeah, because she.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Catherine shows up. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop there. So yeah, so when
That's
Catherine
fair.
shows up, Margaret is just like literally trying to keep
Pretend like nothing.
yeah,
weird is
pretend
happening.
like everything is normal. And she's like really concerned with how little Margaret seems to care about Hal missing.
Huh.
So it's like a little bit of like, so it's horror, obviously.
And you got a mystery.
You got a
in
mystery. It's haunted house, supernatural.
There. This is very cool.
Yeah.
We both kind of picked.
Yeah.
What was yours called?
September House
By.
by Carissa Orlando.
Okay.
And yours again?
Mine was called. Wasn't prepared for that question. The Village Library Demon Hunting Society.
Okay.
C.M. Waggoner.
Yeah. Oh, and mine was a 3.85 on Goodreads.
What would you have given it?
Probably 4.5.
Okay, cool.
Because it's cozy, but like surprisingly not sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
It gets you back into a comfort zone at a point.
yeah, like there's some really interesting, like I said, metaphors
I want to read it.
that happen that are more they're obvious metaphors. You don't have to like
You're not sitting here
interpret.
going,
Yeah, you don't have to like interpret it for yourself. But yeah, it was really good. I agree with my friend Emily. One of the like better books that I've read this year. So
Okay.
highly recommend. Yeah. So catch us in 2 weeks.
It will be here in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.